What's up, everyone? I am Tim Oates on bass, and if you haven't been keeping up with rock news lately, have no fear. I have been, and I'm here to share some highlights with you. Now, there's not a lot of concert news out there. The festival circuit is starting to book out for next summer, hoping that will happen, but I'm not holding my breath yet. There has been news with Ticketmaster, though, as they're thinking about how do we bring back concerts safely. They've actually put out a plan where they would link up with different companies that do tracking to make sure that all concert goers are either current on their vaccines once the vaccines are released to the public, or have gotten a negative COVID test within the last 24 to 72 hours. The plan is still in development. There's a lot they have to work through between HIPAA laws and individual state laws, but it's great to see Ticketmaster thinking about how do we get back to concerts, because we all miss them. Now, with the idea that concerts may be coming back at some point, it's good to have something to look forward to. If you've been following the band Nothing More on Instagram, you may have noticed that they've been posting pictures of their time in the studio. That's right, Nothing More is putting out a new album. They're recording it now. No idea on the date yet, but hopefully that's a 2021 thing. Foo Fighters are also releasing a new album. That one's actually ready to go and is coming out on February 5th, 2021. Title of that record is Medicine at Midnight, and they recently appeared on Saturday Night Live and played one of the songs off of that album, Shame Shame. A week later, on February 12th, The Pretty Reckless will be releasing their latest album, Death by Rock and Roll. If that sounds familiar, well, it's for good reason. The title track has actually been released as a single going all the way back to May. They did also release another single recently, 25. That's definitely worth checking out. It's kind of a haunting song and really does a great job of highlighting Taylor Momsen's voice. The album also features guest artists such as Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine and Audioslave, as well as Kim Thayil, you know who, and Matt Cameron from Soundgarden. Of course, Audioslave and Soundgarden both had Chris Cornell as their lead singer before his passing in 2017. And this year definitely seems like it's the year of Chris Cornell covers. Momsen also appeared on SiriusXM recently, doing her rendition of Loud Love from Soundgarden. Seven Dust included their rendition of The Day I Tried to Live on their most recent album, Blood and Stone. And members of Anthrax, Mastodon, and Alice in Chains did a cover of Rusty Cage. Eddie Vedder appeared on Howard Stern recently in an epic 3-hour-long interview, and he discussed the impact of Cornell's death it had on him, as well as a host of other things. Definitely worth checking out that interview. Unfortunately, we continue to lose legendary musicians in 2020. Including Neil Peart, Charlie Daniels, and most recently Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen's son Wolfgang recently released his debut single for his solo band, Mammoth WVH. The song is called Distance, and it's an open letter to his father. And if you're wondering, yes, he was able to share the song with Eddie before his passing. Wolfgang's portion of the sales will be donated to Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation. Distance isn't the only new song that has been released where the proceeds go to charity. System of a Down released 2 new songs, the first in 15 years, with the proceeds of those going to support those displaced from the conflicts happening in their homeland of Armenia. Within the first week, Protect the Land and Genocidal Humanoids raised $600,000 for the Armenian Fund. While System fans are thrilled to have new music, don't expect a new album anytime soon. It seems like this might have been a one-time thing for a greater cause, but they still have their differences and probably aren't going back into the studio for a full album. But we did get a new album from AC/DC, the first in 6 years, and it does include lead singer Brian Johnson, who had to step away from the band in 2016 due to hearing loss issues. Cartoon band Gorillaz also released a new album in more of an innovative way. Song Machine Season 1, Strange Times, is more like a soundtrack to their web series, where each track comes from an episode and includes featured artists on every song. These guest artists include some very big names, including Beck, Robert Smith of The Cure, St. Vincent, and the one and only Elton John. I will be doing an album review, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell, that way you know when I drop that. Gorillaz isn't the only band that has a number of guest artists in their latest release. Even though Deftones recently released their latest album, Ohms, they're also releasing a remix album to commemorate the 20-year anniversary of White Pony. They're calling it Black Stallion, and every song is being remixed by a different guest. And of course, there's big names in that mix as well, including DJ Shadow, Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park, and also Robert Smith of The Cure, who apparently has been very busy lately. In non-album news, Guitar Center is expected to file for bankruptcy, but won't be closing, despite having $1.3 billion in debt. Somehow, they expect this move to set them up for financial growth in the future. Now, I'm not an accountant, but as a layperson, it seems like Guitar Center's finance team knows about as much about finance as their floor employees know about guitars. And if you didn't understand that joke, clearly you've never actually talked to one of the floor associates about guitars. And last but not least, congratulations to the 2020 inductee class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Depeche Mode, the Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, Nine Inch Nails, the Notorious B.I.G., and T-Rex. Now, if they would stop limiting their inductees to 5 to 7 every year, maybe they would finally get to all the people that deserve to be in there, and they keep snubbing every year, like Duran Duran, Soundgarden, and Iron Maiden, to name just a few. There's a lot more. Get with it, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter, as I'll share rock news as I come across it. That's it for this rock news update. Links to everything I went over will be in the description. You keep making beautiful music, and I'll see you in the next video.